live.
Evening, everyone. The usual feed could just let me know if you can see and hear me, and I will start talking. Anybody out there? Just let me know as you can. You can see. I think that's what's going on. Hi. Anybody listening? Hope you've had a good week. Anybody out there? Hi, thanks. Is it Terry? Thanks. Time and Tide, MD. Thank you. Yes. Russ will be with us in a minute. I hope you had a good week. Evening, Heidi. Hope okay. Hope all okay with you. Yes, I've got a memory. They call me the goldfish. Hiya. Russ will be with us any minute.
I'm here.
Oh. Yeah, I'm all good, thank you, Heidi. All good.
Click that. Yeah, there will be an echo for a minute. Always an echo. Just to we load up the system. Put my earphones on. I hope we got sound.
I hope so.
Give that. Oh, I'm going the wrong way on the mic. Don't need it that high. 1 2 1 2
3 4 5 6.
Yeah, you're right. Right. Let's go then. Are we all ready?
Good.
Oh, Night Wolf. I've never heard of Night Wolf.
You know, right.
Are we ready?
Who is Night Wolf?
Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, mate.
You ain't afraid of no ghost? Stay tuned for the EGH Paranormal Talk Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Many buttons to press, but I think we have got there in the end. Welcome, one and all. It's Friday the 17th of February 2023, and we're live, an exclusive on Pulse Talk Radio, the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. And not only are we live on Facebook, we are live on the wonderful YouTube as well. So everybody that is joining us, welcome. Yeah. And once again, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Simon Hardy.
Hello, mate. All right?
All good. I better turn my phone off, better than I.
It did ring whilst you were away, but
you know, don't these people know that I'm a famous radio star, and Night
Wolf is Mr. A. Hello, Mr. A.
Oh, hello, Mr. A, Mr. and Mrs. A. Welcome everybody that is joining us. Let's just check in with everybody. Who's joining us? We've got Terry that is joining us. The lovely Heidi is joining us. Nightwolf. Dew. Is it Nightwolf? Wasn't that? It was a TV show, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
I thought it was Nightwolf.
No, Nightwolf, wasn't it? In a helicopter.
No, it was Nighthawk, wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm sure it was Nightwolf. We've got, Mr. and Mrs. A. David Smith is hand pink waving. What does hand pink waving mean? Woo. All join us. Welcome to the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. I am really discombobulated. I was pressing all the wrong buttons before. Airwolf. Airwolf. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Airwolf, Night Rider, Airwolf.
That is what I was thinking of.
There was a program called Night Wolf, though. You're right.
I don't
know what it's about, though.
Tina has joined us. Hi, Tina has joined us. So welcome everybody to the EGH Paranormal Talk Show, live on all platforms. Now, if you want to get in contact with us, you can do, as you can see going along the bottom of the screen. You see it's info@essexghosthunters.co.uk, and you can ring in or message us if you want on 079 444 35529. That's 079 444 35529.
If you're bright enough.
Yeah. Well, we've had one phone call, so we can't moan at that. 2 years. It's really sad. 2 years birthday celebration, really, isn't it?
Actually, yeah.
2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago to yesterday.
Either that or Wednesday.
I know Mrs. A put the post up, so just for the sake of it, we'll just one little just birthday surprise to us.
Happy birthday to you.
Us. Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to
EGH Paranormal Talk Show.
Happy birthday to you.
Us. We won't go too mad with that, but happy birthday to the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. 2 years. I don't know what number show we're on. Cringe overload. But this is what it's all about, isn't it? Yeah. It's what it's all about. A little bit more light-hearted than anything else that we do. We can go too deep into certain things, but this one's a little bit more light-hearted and a bit more fun. Well, we like to think so, anyway. So you've had a pretty busy week this week in the shop, haven't you, Si?
Yeah, it's been manic. It's been manic this week, but it's good. That's good.
I know Joe popped in to see you, didn't he?
Sandra today, Mr. and Mrs. A popped in today.
No, there you go.
Nice. But lots of people this week. Been good.
Fantastic.
Been good.
I don't know what 100 means, but
I'm probably calling me 100.
Oh, right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Joe brought half the shop. How's your light, Joe? I heard you brought the selenite light. I know you've taken that away from Simon, Joe, because he really wanted that.
So I've ordered another 3.
No, but thank you ever so much for everyone that pops in and supports us. Yeah, but the only thing with your TikTok is you've got to learn how to use your phone properly, Sandra, because no one could hear you. You were whispering. You need to shout. And where was your hello, paranormal lovers? Where was it?
Yeah, come on, Sandra. Hello, paranormal lovers.
Get
into it.
No, but thank you for the TikTok. It kept that going today. I must admit, I didn't even think about TikTok today because I was concentrating on Facebook yesterday. And everything like that. But if anyone, as you can see, if you are listening on Pulse Talk Radio and you live in the Essex area, please don't forget to visit us at www.sci-rust.co.uk. That is for the online shop. But if you want to visit us, it's White Elm Garden Centre at CM34LR, just outside of Malden, if you want to.
Tea room there.
Beautiful tea room, petting zoo, bug hut, graphic print
shop.
You name it. You name it. You're going to either have a heart attack at the breakfast, you're going to have diabetes from the sweet shop, you're going to have a fright from the spiders, and then you can talk to us from from the dead from us, so it's quite all right.
But what I would recommend is go and see the jumping spiders. They are fantastic.
Do they actually jump?
No, but go and have a look at them.
I don't want to see
Yeah,
jumping
of course.
spiders.
They don't jump. They don't jump, but they are incredible to look to see. Honestly, go and ask Nat to see the jumping spiders.
The jumping spiders. I'm not the best with spiders, but you know what? I will look for the sake of looking.
Yeah, yes.
Just because they're called jumping spiders, and I think that means they will jump.
No, just go and have a look at them. Trust me.
So yeah, thank you for everybody that has turned up and had a look around this week in the shop. It is very much appreciated from both myself and Simon.
Certainly is. It certainly is.
So where are we going to start off with this week then, Si? What are we going to talk about this week?
I think we're going to talk about messages from beyond, and Joe's just put a certain thing on there. I will cover that, Joe. I will cover that. I promise. I will come to that. But messages from beyond, and I think I'm going to tell a couple of things that have happened to me this week for sure, and hopefully people will interact with us.
Go for
on
it.
all the platforms. So let's start then. When was it? Monday, wasn't it? Monday, my daughter decided to take Elsie and my grandchildren round to see Mum and Jill at yours, Russ, as you know. So we were sitting there, and Edison, it's me, Eddie, my little grandchild, only just over a year, just walking. Not really, can say little words, but nothing that you'd understand, to be quite honest. Like, hello is just a word. But we were sitting there and we were getting settled, and my stepson, my stepson, my son-in-law was in the front room with Elsie, and they were watching something, so they weren't really getting involved. But Eddie was playing on his playmat in Nan's room and had his toys there. And I was playing for a little while with him on his mat, and I got up, and all of a sudden he started to wave into the corner with his hand, and it was like, hello, with his hand. The corner where, as you know, Granddad, before he passed, would always sit. He was always in that corner. He was either watching football, watching who was outside, or watching his eyelids. But that's the corner he would be in.
But 9 times out of 10, it was the back of the eyelids.
Yeah, it was. He was never asleep.
Never asleep.
Just rested them. So, and if you bear in mind, when my dad passed, Michelle was 3 months, or probably really early pregnant with Eddie. So
I think she was a little bit more than that, though, wasn't she?
No, because she had him in December. And Granddad died in June, so it's 6 months from June to December. So I would make it round about 3 months. So he's never seen me granddad. He's never seen his granddad. And anyway, he started to wave at the chair.
Great granddad. Your granddad.
Yeah, great granddad. Yeah, my dad. Great granddad. Yeah. And he started to wave at the chair. And I clocked it and didn't really say anything. It just sort of passed it over. And then he did it again. And he did it again. And I didn't say anything again. And then all of a sudden, I think Michelle, my daughter, clocked. And then she said, oh, what's he waving at? Who's he waving at? She didn't say it to him. And so, anyway, we let it pass. And then I think Mum saw it, Jill saw it. And he kept doing it. Hello. And then Michelle went to him. Who are you waving at, Eddie? And in as clear a voice as anything, he said, Derek. My dad's name is Derek. Now, there's a boy that can't communicate, but it was as clear as day, and he said, Derek. So, after that, it stopped. He didn't wave anymore. So, I think my dad, Granddad was there just to say hello, and Michelle was the person he waited for before he passed.
Exactly. It's we spoke about that many days before Granddad passed.
Yes.
and the thing that I think you look at the most uniqueness about this is that if he said granddad,
Yeah.
okay, it wouldn't have been the effect that you would wanted, because you could knock off the fact of that, you know, Elsie calls you granddad, Michelle would have called you say hello to granddad, so that would have stuck in his mind and that word could have come out. But the fact he used the word Derek,
and it
or
was clear.
his way of saying Derek,
No,
is
it's
quite
clear.
special. It was quite, you know, I wasn't there. I never witnessed this. I was at work. But it almost, if you know, you could describe Grandad in a way that, for us, that he always sat in that corner, and when the grandkids come over, the great grandchildren come on, he did that silly little wave and that funny little face that he always pulled. Now I could imagine him still doing that, sitting in that chair, and that for him to wave is also very unique, because Grandad did used to wave.
Yes, he did. Yes.
And he always waved at Elsie when she was young.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. So that was the first thing. That was the first thing this week, which I found mind-boggling. And I started to look at things like messages from beyond then. I went into work, started to look on the thing. But I met up with Joe. We hadn't seen each other probably, I don't know, it's probably 18 months to 2 years, I would imagine. It's that long. But we met up. And immediately we met up. Don't know what it is with me and Joe, but whether our auras connect or what, if something happens, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen there. And on Wednesday night, we went down to the estuary, down Canvey, and just looked out. We were just chatting. But I'm sure we clocked Clarkey come up, the Clarkey being one of Joe's, I don't know if he was his guy, but he used to be with Joe at his old house down the road, and he fell off his roof. I don't think Clarkey died, but he did have a bad injury when he fell off Joe's roof. And I think Joe's dad remembers it, that Clarkey was actually worked there. And he come to us in, well, I'm going way back, probably 12 years ago. I don't know if that's right, Joe, but it's about 10 to 12 years ago that we knew it was. And he did get a bad injury. And I think Clarkey said, big announcement. Remember the big announcement?
Yep, remember that.
Clear. I think that was Clarkey. But the thing Clarkey used to do was like a muffled backward whistle. Yeah, that's how we would know Clarkey was about. It was like that, but muffled, more muffled. So we're in the shop Joe comes into the shop on yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And we were talking and we were looking at all the stuff. What did we hear? The muffled whistle, quite clearly. And we were seeing things on Wednesday night. We both saw things at the same time. If something was going to hit the peripheral vision, we both see it. And that's unusual because one of you would normally see it. But it was really crazy. And I suggest that me and Joe's auras connect in some way, and we sense to see the same sort of things. That's the way I would explain that one. But yeah, so that was the second thing that happened this week.
So just for everyone listening, that Joey's backing this up. He got a bad injury. I can't get my words out. He started me on in Joe's spiritual journey. The backward whistle.
Yes, it's a backward whistle that it's muffled. You can't.
But the backward whistle.
It's like
so you're sucking in.
Yes, but that way.
Well, that's interesting.
Muffled. Yeah.
Yes, remember the big announcement as clear as day, right?
Yeah.
I have still got it on my phone somewhere. I've still got it on my phone. Joe said we both heard it loud.
Yeah.
And we both know who it was.
We did straight off. We knew it. We just said Clarker, and that's going. We haven't seen each other for 2 years. We haven't sort of experienced Clarky, Yeah, don't you get rude now, Joe. So, I can imagine what's coming next, mate. But yeah, so that's the sort of thing. And if I was you, I'd get Joe on the show if he came next week because he can tell you some things we saw down the estuary, and I think he caught some footage. But that's for your Thursday night show. It's definitely for your Thursday night show.
Well, me, Joe and myself have been speaking, and Paul, we're going to do Joe once he's settled in and everything like that. He will be making a guest appearance once a month. On the, we're going to give Joe a slot, back with Joe or something like that on our Thursday night show. When he gets settled and he gives me the heads up, and then he'll be coming on.
Yeah, exploring with Downsy.
Yeah.
Ringing it, exploring with Downsy.
I listened to it 100 times. I know I have got it on my phone somewhere.
Yeah, is that wasn't it? Big announcement.
It would probably take me a long time to try and find it on my phone, and it would make terrible radio. But I wouldn't just know that's Ring Doorbell. I wouldn't know where it would have gone. I really don't. So I've got so much.
But it's been a really sort of full-on week, and then it took me to. And we also got one of our team members. I don't know if you saw her message as well. She's lost 2 people very recently, but she had a very strong message in a dream from her dad that solved her problem. Did you read that message? I'm not going to mention names because it's wrong to, but it solved her problem. But she got that in a dream. And how lovely is that? I don't think they've got it. They go very far, to be quite honest.
No, I don't think they do go.
Until they want to. I do think they go, but I think it's when they've got everything sorted, if you know what I mean.
I'm just going through my phone, and
Well, ask Joe to send it to you because look, I've got it saved in so many places in case I lost it.
Yeah, I don't know. I could play anything on my phone. It's not because I've upgraded my phone. Nothing really just, I just don't know. What was that noise?
That's me. Probably was it. Maybe not.
No.
I didn't hear a noise.
Someone was talking. Oh, it's my phone. It's come. All the audio's come on. Oh my God! Go away. I've got it. I'll try and dig it out. I will try and dig it out and see if everyone can pick up. The big announcement. Probably one of the clearest, one of the most clearest sort of EVPs that we've caught
ever. I would say ever. And
yeah,
for so many people to have witnessed that as well, that actual part of it.
The thing is, though, but you would have never ever realised it as an EVP. You wouldn't.
No.
Because I don't think I've ever had a clear as audio as that.
No, you're probably right. No, that was so.
It was so clear that I remember it clearly. What am I listening to? I can't remember. I couldn't remember because it was so clear that it did. When you used to listen to EVPs, you hear the hello.
Yeah.
You hear the bye. It was just that. But it was like. Yeah. Big announcement.
Yeah.
What the was that?
Nothing was there, was it? Nothing was there. We weren't even. I think I was talking to somebody. You was having a conversation with somebody, and it just come over it. It come over everything.
I wished I could find it. I really wished I could find it. I know somewhere in my phone it is kept. I know because it used to come up and play. it used to come up and play on my actual listening. The
Weird.
furthest it goes back is on my phone is 2022, but that's probably where my phone has updated.
Yeah, it's upgraded since then.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's got to be about 2012, isn't it?
Yeah, it could go back.
No, I think it was either 20.
But I've never saved it as big announcement. I've just saved it as the audio file, so it's weird. What's Joe put there? The funny thing about it, Russ, was that he got
That's all congregated.
in the lounge to hear the big announcement.
Yes, he did. He did. You're right. He did.
By that, but was it by the parrot, the bird, the statue of the
woodpecker, wasn't it?
the woodpecker? Because it was all. I know well, it was something because you and Joe were standing by the woodpecker.
Is it a woodpecker? Where's that woodpecker, Joe?
You
still
know.
got it?
But did we actually find out what the big announcement was? Was there an actual announcement?
No, we never. It was just.
Did anyone actually what the actual announcement
We
was?
never did. I don't think. Did we, Joe? I don't think we ever sourced what it was. But I think it was just to say, here I am. I'm here. Because
Very odd.
It was very early in Joe's spiritual journey. I think. Very early.
So what is you're calling these? It was his humour.
Yeah, probably. It's Clarky. It was Clarky. It's Clarky's humour. Yeah.
So you're calling these sort of messages beyond.
Message from beyond. But I sort of went on to thinking though about the messages you've been having as well, because you got one through from our circle member, if you remember. And
Yeah, but that's weird. That was weird in all its senses. What?
And earlier this week you had the song.
Yeah, but I don't know where that's come from. I haven't fitted that to anybody yet. What was the song?
Love is a whatever that is.
No, what's his name? Chris Steigers.
Steigers.
Curtis Steigers. And I wonder why.
Yeah.
So if anybody in the chat has someone in spirit that can take that song, or you can take that song, Curtis Steigers, and I wonder why, then let me know. All right? Let me know in the chat. If that means something so strong to you, then let me know. All right? Because that is one of the things that has been on my mind. But, yep, you're right with what that message was. But in my, I don't know if Lisa is listening or not, but this was the weirdest message I got, because I wasn't calling anyone forward. I was just sitting in the front room and this energy appeared. And she gave me her name. And the first place I thought to put it was on our Circle WhatsApp group. And obviously it was the right way to go. But the reason why it just didn't make sense to me why she didn't go directly to Lisa.
This is what comes to me. Why are they not going directly to the people?
Yeah, but Grandad was directly there. He was directly with Edison. Yeah. I don't think I haven't had a message. Yes, I probably have had a message from Grandad. Probably yesterday.
I speak to him more now than I ever did when he was here.
Yeah, I don't. I'm probably the other way around. Not in any bad terms.
Yeah, but you live.
Yeah.
I did now. Yeah.
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 I know he sits behind me, it was that's that. But yeah, no, I think he may have got did when Grandad come through, it doesn't feel like there was any message.
No, I don't think there was a message. I think that message there was, I still sit in this chair. That's the message. I think that's the message.
If you ever wanted to bloody doubt him, then I'll let you have that argument if you share that was.
Yeah.
Prime
And
position.
I think that was it. I'm still here. I haven't gone anywhere yet.
And I don't think he does go very far.
No. But I
really
think
don't.
during time, do you know, I think once somebody gets their message across, then they will go.
What do you mean we'll go?
Not go. Will deplete in communicating. So I think once he's done all he's got to do, you won't know he's around so much. See, I know when he's around because I can smell that after that particular blue suede stuff he used to wear. I know when he's there, I smell it.
From Avon.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I think he was the only one that kept Avon in there.
Yeah, kept them going.
He did, yeah. I've still got a can upstairs actually, and if I do want to bring him forward, I just spray a bit of this.
But no, I sort of I disagree with you on that point slightly because I don't think they do fade after they've got their message.
Well, the reason I say that is because I'll tell you another one then. When my nan passed, she came and she always had a talcum powder smell. Yeah. Now everybody in the family got that talcum powder smell, but I didn't. And then one night I was sitting there, and this is before I was even spiritually connected. I'd only been 20 odd, and boy did I smell this talcum powder. In fact, I smelt it, and I thought I know who the hell this is, and I shot to bed as faster than anything. Right, and I've never smelt her again. And so I think they not get their message across. That's probably the wrong thing. They get their they make you aware of their presence.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, but I feel that spirit work in one of two ways, or the both. If they want something to say to you, they're just going to come and say it.
So why is that person that they're trying to say it to having to use people like us to say it to them?
Because they don't believe or trust their confidence. I think we're the issue. The human living element is the issue.
Yeah, but, I do tend to agree.
And if going by all intents and purposes of what Lisa's mum had to say, I think it was getting to the point of she didn't have any other option to I'm probably the closest to Lisa in area code. I'm like 5 minutes away. Not like that's an issue. But yeah, this is what I believe. That's sort of, I'm going to go back to some of the comments in a minute because I've got a birthday there and things like that. So maybe the person wasn't listening. I think we are the issue.
We could be.
I think we shut it away.
I'm going to give you some more stories in a minute, and they're not.
But before we go on stories, let's just go to Sarah Elizabeth. Happy birthday. Well, this is the birthday show. This is the 2-year birthday show. So welcome. Happy birthday. Happy returns from everybody here at the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. Welcome. Victoria, I had a sign tonight. If you want to put that in, is this the that face looks familiar.
Yeah, it does. Elaborate a bit more, Victoria. What sign?
I think this lady's been in the shop, if I remember rightly. That face looks familiar. Yes, the other day. I remember you. Good, you've had your sign.
Good.
Keep working with it. Have you used your cards yet? Chocolate Eclair. Exactly. The Chocolate Eclair lady. Sorry, I'm calling you. Now I know your name, Victoria. Quick one is, lady come into the shop last Saturday, Simon.
Yeah.
I remembered her face because she bought some wonderful Earth Magic cards.
Yes.
But hasn't used them yet, so she's going to use them soon. But we give her a little reading in the shop, and the lady in question left her a chocolate eclair. Okay, and the lady kept pointing to me and saying, "They're up there. They're up there." I'm going, "I haven't got no chocolate eclairs." But then I realised that you put the bag of chocolate on top of the white cabinet.
Yeah.
I opened the white cabinet and there was one chocolate eclair left within that bag. So I give it to Victoria. Another rapper turned up tonight, up on the sofa.
Go.
See? But I'm a strong believer that I believe that there's another thing. I think sometimes people ignore it because they imagine it, so others need to validate it. That's a very good point.
Could be. It could be. But yes. No.
Still had the eclair on my desk. It was another rapper. But I'm a strong believer that we sometimes spirit come through and can be harsh. And we have this ability to you don't want to understand it because you don't want the truth reality. So you can block it out that way. But for all intents and purposes of this conversation is that we are talking to something that we can't see. You could quite easily put this into a figment of your imagination. You can quite easily faux pas it because you're not hearing someone directly speaking to you. So you've got, if it's a very much difference if you come up to me or I come up to you, because you've got that visual aspect. You've got no mind to put certain things, blocks, things in the way, and your consciousness. So I think that is where, that's where I believe that why these spirits come forward to other people, because this lady, obviously, take my example, is that I think that it was Lisa's mum, obviously. I won't go into detail because that's personal, but it was a message that she had to get, and quickly.
Okay.
She may have been able to give that message to Lisa, but would Lisa be able to decipher it as quickly as potentially what I did? Not to say that I'm the end and all of, because that's not what I'm saying. Perhaps she's been trying to tell Lisa and Lisa and Lisa, but not having any luck. So they have to defer to where potentially they've got a bit of hope to get that across. Because I feel the message that I give Lisa about that particular bit of paperwork will benefit her more than what she was going through.
Okay. Yeah. That sort of makes sense. Yeah, that sort of makes sense.
So you got me, both heard voices at the same time with no one else in the house.
Yeah, it happens here.
Trina, but it's your name. Evening, Trina. Welcome. It's your name being called that always bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because you could always blame somebody.
Yes.
Unless you're on your own.
Yeah. Yes.
That really annoys me. When they call my name, it's like, Russell, and you turn around and go, what? I didn't say anything. Well, you did. No, you didn't. All right, okay. And it's just forgotten about. But when you're on your own, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're on your own, it's like, okay.
What was that?
Yeah, what was that? That was definitely my name.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Russ, you don't get message from Yvonne for ages, but I did, and I think Si too, because Spirit knew you weren't ready. Yeah, that was my block. I totally agree with that. I think I would struggle emotionally with it. And I think that's my wall. I think that's what I've put in the way to stop that from happening. I do get the odd message, but it's very common for me to get messages via other people from Yvonne. But that is my fault. I know that's my fault. And I shouldn't be, because it's a long... it was a long time now. You know, we're talking what? 6 years?
You're joking. Longer than that, I reckon. Yeah.
It could be. Yeah, it could. Yeah, longer than that. So yeah, I do feel that it is us that are blocking the messages from our loved ones, because it could be emotional. It could be you're not ready for it. Yeah, Julie, but that was just crazy, that one. My dad, and poor Julie had to drive all the way from Harlow across to, I say Harlow, I just know it's that direction, all the way across to there, because she was so emotionally attached that she had to get the message across.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, Joe. You're still upset over it too. Yeah, 100%. 100%, because you can never replace her. And it was more of the fact of why. It's why. I understand with, with Grandad, you mentally prepare yourself. You can watch that. You can get that in your mind, because you see the end. You can see why. But with her, I did say goodbye, Joe. I did. We all said goodbye. Because I'm talking out loud here, so people, let me just fill you in. Yvonne was my teacher, my spiritual.
It is. You probably got that
right.
Yeah.
She was my teacher. She taught Simon in an aspect. Mrs. A had we all know it, and Joe, we all had a strong bond with Yvonne in a different ways.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Totally different ways. From Joe, helping his daughter just out of nowhere, and just helped. Didn't even question, just helped. And we held the last class on a Thursday with her. She didn't turn up to a Friday night class. That's when obviously they knew that there was something wrong. But she taught us on the Thursday night, like she did every Thursday night. We all said our goodbyes. We all give her a kiss and a cuddle, and we all walked her down the stairs, because she had a bad leg. She had a terrible leg she was due to go in for an operation in a few weeks' time. And we all helped her to her car. We put her in the car. We all said our goodbyes. But I didn't realise it was the last goodbye. It wasn't the last, it's not the last goodbye, but physically it was the last goodbye. And then the Saturday, well, she passed Friday evening, but the Saturday, we found out, or Saturday afternoon, we found out she'd passed away. And Joe's right, she's a beautiful soul. Still is a beautiful soul. And the phrase that heaven or wherever that side has gained an angel in so many aspects, just such. And how I look at it is that side need help.
Yeah.
And I do believe she was taken for, I've had to get it into my mind that she was taken for a purpose.
Yes.
She wasn't taken out of any hatred or wrongdoing. She was taken for a purpose to bring the good back in this world. Because there was if we could bottle her, as what Joe said there, her soul, then this world would be the most beautiful place that we would ever grace. I don't think she would ever say a swear word. then then she's dealing with me, that could say an F and a Jeff just like that.
Yeah.
But just going back to the point is that I know that I've probably put my barriers up because for a time it dented my confidence. It massively dented my spiritual confidence. Not only my spiritual confidence, but I couldn't understand it. When I went to the funeral, you sat in quite good company. Tony Stockwell I sat next to, some famous mediums. Was all at her funeral, so she had a very, very strong connection. And I do believe that there is a certificate or a course named after her, by Tony Stockwell, because she was just finished. She was just finished her mentorship with him. And when you go and see Tony Stockwell, you see her in a strange way, how she worked. The questioning, the way she delivered her mediumship was, obviously she's learnt from him, just like I learnt from her. She was dedicated. And I think that, it is a way of what we do to stop these messages coming through. If that makes sense.
It does. It does.
And sometimes we do need to kick up the arse. Sometimes, it gets to a point of frustration. They must get frustrated. They must get frustrated that we don't listen. And I think that's where their deviation goes, to somebody that was going to give that message.
Yeah.
You think like when you and, Joe were together, there's a good chance that potentially that you could have picked up on Clarkey if you tried. But because you was with Joe, I think because that's how it used to work and how it feels so right, it's easy for him. It's easy for him.
Yeah, it is.
When your energies are combined, because you've had that working pattern before, it's like, look, their auras are together. This is easy. I ain't got to work. I ain't got to make out, it's easy. Because you're going to accept it. So that's, I think you're right in what you're saying, but I don't think they falter. I don't think they lose their energy, so to speak. I just think they're just waiting there for you to not foul, but for them to open their trap again and get another ticking off.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
You could be right, but it did lead me down. It's questioning this week is, can you... What was I questioning? Can you still have a relationship with somebody that's passed? And I think you can.
As in...
Well, you can. I think you can still talk to them.
Yeah.
I think you can channel into their energies. Definitely. I think you can ask them questions.
Yeah, but is that not like...
Yes, but that's... But not everybody would do that.
No, but this is what I'm saying. We're special.
Yeah.
We are special, and
Yeah.
I'm not
But
saying we're.
I'm saying everybody has the ability to do what I do, to do what you do. I think everybody has that ability, and it's just tapping into how you do it. And funny enough, Joe said to me the other night, "Have you got a new guide?" And no, I haven't got a new guide, but I have got somebody that's helping me in from what I've been asking. Is helping me in this now and saying to me, right, if you like, I've got somebody that's trying to show me how to teach people, if you like. And the one thing today, or was it yesterday? I can't even remember the day. The days are just lapsed. They've told me to use the hand technique. Like, we set people up with dowsing rods, and we set people up with a pendulum
Yeah.
to get answers. Right? They're telling me, whoever this person is or this guide is, to use the hand technique. So you sit there in a room and you.
Oh, that's simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Ground. Yeah. You ground. You protect. You do all your normal prayers, but rather than use any implements, that use your hands. So put your palm of your hands out. Say your right hand is yes, your left hand is no. Talk to that person. Make them talk to that person who you want to talk to, and make them feel the changes in your hand. So you can ask yes and no questions, and you can probably go on from that. But start off with a yes and no. And that's how they're telling me to try and teach people. And I'm going to use it at ghost hunts. Seriously, I'm going to use it at ghost hunts. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry. The hand technique is where you sit on it and let your left hand go limp.
Mr.
I hope
Steve.
no children are listening. I'm just going to go back through a couple of questions that have come in. Tina is seeing Tony Stockwell in March. Sandra's put, Yvonne finished her course with distinction but never received her certificate. Is on his wall in the office. Two energies together make platform ready. I agree with that. I think that is boom. Especially when they know they can have a little bit of a laugh and a joke with you as well. Look at the energy. Energy is risen when you laugh, giggle. You know, we know times when to be serious. We know times when not to be serious. I think you can still have a relationship with past loved ones, but only if it doesn't interfere with one's spiritual path, journey, or contract.
Could be. Yeah, but I'm not saying that in a relationship, but for people that don't communicate, simple ways to try and communicate. I'm not trying to do anything because I'd also go on to say, try and listen for them. Forget feeling them in hands. Try and listen to them. Try and listen for them. And like you would always do, Joe, is you'd voice record and just sit there, put some white noise on or background noise, so they can manipulate something. And to see them, what I would do is sit in the dark till my eyes adjust and then start seeing things, because I think you will. In fact, I've tried it and I have seen things. And that's been done the last couple of days. So I think it's worth giving it a go if you never do it. And I did think we had a question there.
Yes, I'm going to throw it up on the screen now. Terry has asked, how do we open our minds more or become more accepting to spirit, wanting to give us a message?
Open your mind. Meditation, I would say, is probably the best one. But if not, if you can't meditate, some people can't meditate, and I agree with that. But then some people say I fall asleep, and that's not such a bad thing, because you will get spirit in dream. I believe that as well. So,
well, you can meditate with eyes open.
Yes.
Place a candle in the middle of the room and just focus that energy on to the candle. Okay, so it just make sure you put it in a glass bowl, because if you do fall asleep, it will fall over. But yeah, you can do that. I'll let Simon carry on with his sort of answer to that.
Open your mind. If you want to know how I would do it, is I imagine a telly screen, or I used to. I don't need to do it anymore, but I used to imagine a telly screen, blank, nothing on it. And if anything come across, I'd blank it again. And that's the sort of thing I would do. And then I would ask spirit to step forward. I wouldn't be scared of asking the spirit to step forward. In early days, I think people probably are. I think from my own personal things, was I scared of it in the beginning? Probably, yeah. I probably was scared of it in the beginning, and I wouldn't sit there and say, "I call spirit forward." I wouldn't have done that. But now, I want them to come forward. So yeah, anything you can do to make your experience better, really. And it's what you're comfortable with. The people that tell you to, you've got to do this and you've got to do that, it's crap. I meditate in the bath, and people have told me you should never meditate in the bath. Crap. Best place to meditate. And I get answers. Boy, do I get some answers. So, yeah. But just where you're comfortable. Do what you're comfortable with doing. And then either use what techniques you want to use. Don't get me wrong. Pendulums, dancing rods, work, that's fine, and anything like that. But I think the best implement is you. That's your best implement.
And is just to reiterate, sort of just, I think Si's totally right in what he's saying. There is no wrong or right to it. But the only thing I would say is at the beginning, just make your intentions clear.
Yes, protect.
Because protect, just put your feet flat on the ground, and just make sure you just say, if you want to say a prayer, but just ask for protection when you are communicating with spirit, because you do want that protection. You do want that. You make sure your intention is clear enough on that.
Yeah.
I would do exactly the same.
Yeah, if you want to communicate with somebody in particular, ask for that person in particular. That's
yeah. Tina's put, it's fine to communicate and ask questions, but we have to remember that our work is here, and we need to experience life to learn its lesson. Can't be too reliant on spirit.
I get that. I totally get that.
Free will.
Yeah.
Free will. I'd call that free will. White noise background is a bloody great idea, Si.
And it would be with you, Joe, because I know you use your voice recorder. We might never listen to it, but
there was a study done the other day. I'm just going to go see if it's still on there, to be fair, because I found it quite interesting. I bet it isn't. Yes, it is. Fantastic. There's, like they talk white noise.
Yeah.
Now, there's such thing as green noise, pink noise, and brown noise. Okay, so there's different waves of noise. And they're saying all these will help sleep. It's all to do with sleep. But we all know that sort of that pattern of to get to sleep is sort of a pathway to that realm, that openness of your mind relaxing. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything. I don't know. Let's have a look at brown noise, drawing a deeper, stronger tone. This frequency is similar to the sound of a storm. It contains a very low frequency at a greater volume than a higher frequency. Sounds like a low roaring sound of an aircraft. Green noise. Green noise is more like a natural ground. A bass tone of around 500 hertz. Pink noise, and the article says pink noise. It's all getting a bit Reservoir Dogs. And this sound contains all its frequencies of white noise, but with a less pleasant. The higher frequency of sound at a quieter volume, like a gentle sound of rain, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they say that it's different age groups as well. So, you know,
Okay.
yeah. My eyes have gone funny now where I've scrolled up and down the screen. But yeah, so white noise, green noise, pink noise, and brown noise is all different, different, you know, these frequencies that are obviously helping you connect, you know, in a way. Daydreaming is a
Yeah.
good way.
Yeah.
Tina sort of backs this up as well. Walking meditation is good.
I
Just
think
along a
brilliant.
river, through a forest, etc. And just listen and look at your surroundings and let their hours, let their auras float in.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Um,
I agree
so-
with that. I do find, yeah, walking is a great way to meditate. Funny enough, I agree with that.
I think yeah, because especially if you're, there's that link between spirit and the roaring river, isn't there? You know that the power of that, the energy that if you can find a bit of river that is really roaring, they say the energies really can ramp up there. I take an example, the what's it, paper mill lock
Yeah.
at the far end where the lock is sort of not broken but lets a lot of water out. You can hear that sound, can't you?
Yes. Yeah. I think Devon and on the moors, some of the rivers there, you know, that was cracking. I love that. We'll have to do the moors. We will have to do the team. Will have to do the moors.
Don't go out on the moors at night. Stick to the paths. Joe said you was scared, so you sat in a car.
I totally agree. Yes, totally agree. Things did used to scare me, mate. Yeah, 100%, 120%. Yeah.
Set the boundaries to prevent dark forces.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Terry said, "Thank you. I wondered if a Reiki session before to cleanse our chakras would help. It would be a great idea, but you don't necessarily have to have Reiki. You could have a sound bath. You could have your aura cleansed. You could just smudge yourself with, you know, you don't have to, you know, a lot of people will use sage, but you can use different things if you want to do that. But I agree, Reiki is a great idea. I think it's one of the most amazing feelings for me, anyway. When I do my Reiki, I feel that there's a lot more energy that comes out of me than when I'm normally. I thought brown noise was farting. Only you, Joe. Only you. Reiki is a great idea. Yeah. I think it is. But there is. But have a look at some other. You know, have a look at some other cleansings as well. The sound baths are amazing. Just play some. Look on YouTube and look at the sound bath sessions. It's magical. It's pure magical because they all use the, you know, like the crystal glass singing bowls with different frequencies, and they all play them together. Reiki is Reiki is powerful indeed. Very good for healing. Absolutely brilliant. You do, Tina. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting patiently. But yeah, I would just set your boundaries, make sure your intentions are clear, and then just sit there for. Don't overexert yourself first off.
No.
Just give it 5 minutes. Work up slowly. 5 minutes. Sit there. You know, you can play a bit of noise if you want. You know, these sounds, and just put your hands out. And ask for your team, your guides, your angels, your loved ones to come forward. But set your intentions. Don't expect miracles the first time out. Do not expect it just to happen. Work. Let it grow. Let the bond grow stronger. And then it sort of, don't run before you can walk. You know, don't be in pain, you know, bit of patience with it. They don't want to scare you. They won't come in full bore. So just take your time, sit there, relax, and then for a week do it for 5 minutes. The second week do it for 10 minutes. Third week do it for 15 minutes. Then just grow that. If you want to up it by how, you don't have to wait weeks, but you know, when you feel comfortable, just get that bond to come forward. Yvonne always used to, when we was doing that sort of thing with your hands, Simon, you know, she always used to make them come from behind, if you remember, and put their hands on their shoulders.
Yes, yeah.
You know, tap our shoulders just gently so we know that they're there.
Yes, yeah.
Remember that all the time. Reiki opens a lot of emotions for me sometimes. We had 2 people in the shop last week that had just done their Reiki attunements, and one was male, one was female, and the female one said she was absolutely really, you know, up for it and everything. And the other gentleman said, well, I feel totally different. He said, I feel like I've done 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. I feel like I want to cry. He said, well, why does she feel different to me? And I said, because, and lucky enough that I not sided, but what happened to the male happened to me. It's a cleansing of your, I don't want to say soul because I don't think it is, but it's a cleansing of your being. It's a cleansing of everything.
Yeah.
It's not restarting you, it's just retuning you to a level of good intent. We all can't be pure good. It's not natural. We've all got things that we've done wrong and then we regret. It's natural. You can't get rid of that. It's the balance of life, the yin, the yang. But it's what Reiki does. It can reattune you to a point where you're balanced and happy with what is going on. And that means you are a pure person going forward from that day forth. You're still going to have your baggage. You're still going to have the things that you feel that you've done wrong, but you accept them. And accept that you can't change that unless you want to go back. Can be like a spiritual enema.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember the first one proper drained me. Reiki 1, when we first had, when that first, you know, we had them first sessions and everything. Oh, I didn't know if I was on my arse or my head for weeks.
I think I
For
liked it.
weeks. I loved it. But it just felt like everything that I did just felt tiring. But what a, you know, it's just a lovely feeling. It is a beautiful feeling. And I think that works with everything. I think that obviously Terry is sort of, he's in the know. You know Reiki and things like that. If you're not within the know, so to speak. I say that wrongly. I suppose you shouldn't say in the know, but you understand a bit of spiritualism.
You know about Reiki, yeah.
Yeah. And I would definitely, if you can, try it.
Yeah.
Why not? I think if you're open to Reiki, then have it. Do an aura cleanse, and then go and talk to someone that you want to talk to. And I think you'll get what Simon said with the hands.
Yeah,
I think,
I'd like people to try that actually. And when we're next on, if people want to try that, just it's a simple exercise. It doesn't have to take you hours. But I've done it now probably about 4 or 5 times because I thought, well, no, I am always speaking. You know, I'll use a pendulum. I'll use dowsing rods. Use them. Use your hands. Use your hands. Use what you've got. I believe that now. I do believe that now. I don't think you need anything else. To be honest.
Yourself.
Yeah, it is yourself. Okay, it's lovely to have things to record it and like things like big announcement and things like that. That's brilliant when you get it. Uh, but you know, the best instrument is within you.
And I've always said it. I've always said it. The best tool that you can have in your ghost hunting box is yourself.
Yeah.
Tina has put, I've been teaching Reiki for nearly 20 years and no two people have had the same attunement experience. And that's what's so special about it. That is what is so special about it. And sort of over the last few weeks that people have needed more Reiki. There's been situations around the world that have needed Reiki. And you know how I do my Reiki. I always have, I like to visualize or feel the Reiki masters to come and sit behind me in like a half moon shape, how many of them they want, and we just sit there and send the healing to where it needs to be. And that's how I visualize it. We are using the natural universe's energy to heal. We're entitled to it. And I think that can, and I do think when I'm more saying it out loud, that I do think that would help. I really do. The more I'm talking out loud and talking to myself, I think it would generally.
Yeah.
So I can ask all masters to come behind.
Yeah, I ask all the masters to come behind. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agree.
And that's how that's how I visualize it.
Yeah.
That's how I visualize, that side of things. And it is a strong will. And I don't think you have to be a believer in spirit. I don't think you have to be a believer in the other side to believe in Reiki. So how I see it is when I walk down the road or I'm in a situation where someone needs your help. Okay? Someone needs your help. And all I do is I do my distance healing and I send that to that person. Okay, and how I visualize it is that they've got their little ball of energy that sits above their head, wherever they want. Okay? And if they accept it at the time, they accept it at the time. But if they're at one of these people that are not open to it, I see the ball of energy sit there and hold until that person in life says, and how many times do we hear it? Oh, I can't believe this has happened again. I wish my luck would change. I wish something different would happen. And I think that is the opening door to allow the Reiki in. That's something different. If you don't accept it at first, I don't receive it back. I just ask it to stay there until that ball of healing energy can join their soul, their aura. It's just lovely. It's just that's how I visualize it. And I asked Dr. Insui on some special heals. I just class him as one of my team around the back. That's how I see sort of how it works for me. I don't want to stump his toe any more than he has to. It's a weird logic that we use to get. It's weird but logical that we use to get messages through spirit and spirit boards. Because spirit use the opportunity that the guest
Yeah.
was in a.
You're right.
I'm lost. Sorry. Yeah, explain that to me, Si.
Right. So what Joe's saying, it's weird that we used to, but logical that we used to get messages when we're doing a spirit board at a ghost hunt event for people that were around the board, because they were on that. We used to get the messages on that board for the people that were in the hunt.
Yeah. I'm lost.
Why? Why? What do you mean? Why are you lost?
I'd expect that anyway.
But why?
Because you open the board up to anybody. Not dark, but you don't. If you went onto that board and said, I only ask the spirit of the location to come forward, then I would say it was weird that.
No, I think probably where he's coming from. We used to get messages for people that weren't on the board. Were standing away from the board.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, but it's that fight of the fittest, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's that survive. You know, it's like opening. It's like having everybody waiting outside Tesco's at 5 to 9 to get to the reduced bits at 9 o'clock. The doors open, everyone bundles. The strongest will survive. That's how I see the spirit board works when we have messages for people around there.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's, you know, if that person isn't touching the board and at the back, but they're in such a bad state that they need this message, that person is going to fight hell for leather to get onto that board and say, "You off, I'm coming. You go sod yourself. It's my board. I need to get a message to someone. Take me on after. I'm getting this message through."
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go for this one first. The intention on the board is to ask a message for around the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an opportunity for spirit to get a message through, Rush. Surely they know.
Surely you know what I mean.
I do now. I do now. I didn't understand it at the beginning, but I definitely do now. Loudest shouters are heard. That's how I see it. I think it's prioritised in.
I do get that. I do get that the loudest shouters are heard, but I still believe if there's messages for those people around that board, they will get them, whether they're loud or not. I don't think you have to be loud to get a message through. I think they do it in other ways as well.
Yeah, but we're talking about on the hunt.
Yeah, but then agree. Yeah, it's probably too awkward to what I probably can't explain that very well. But
I do. If they don't get their message through the board in a session, there's a good chance they will fight again. I say they will try to get that message through
in another way.
On
the board.
Yeah, if possible.
Yes.
If possible.
If, for example, you're not going to get every message in the sessions we have on that board for everybody there.
Let's play this.
You're right. So the loudest are going to get out there first, and the first are going to get them. But those people, if they've got messages behind that on the board, they will get them through in some way. Not necessarily on the board, but they'll get that message through via us at some point in the evening.
And that once again, that comes down to us. Comes down to us because in that, let's look at the other side of that. That spirit who has to come through has to bang their chest so loud that distracts us from what we are there to do. Now, when we're doing our ghost hunts, it's only virtually the board session that is virtually opened up to loved ones and messages. In theory.
In theory.
Because when we are in a location, we are there to see what is at the location. So when I'm in a session without the board, my brain goes to what is in this location. So that spirit has to work doubly hard to knock me off my not my intention. I suppose it is my intention, but they have to try and make my head turn to look at them if they don't fit what is in that room.
I do agree with you. But I also would say that often on hunts, and I'm not on the board very often, to be quite honest, right? But I will be getting personal messages in a group,
Yeah,
even in a location.
yeah, but my head sometimes will not allow that to happen because that's not what I'm there for.
Yeah, but
I think people for personal messages, people would look for a reading, not to come on a ghost hunt.
yeah.
And-
No, but what I'm saying is,
If there is a message that needs to get through, I think I'd probably
what I'm
count.
saying to you, if a person comes on a ghost hunt, yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm able to take a message, that spirit, whether it be on the board, whether it be on anywhere else, and it wants to get a message to that person who's with me on that hunt, will get that bloody message through to me.
yes,
For that person. For that
Yes.
person. Bald, no bald,
yeah,
divination rods, whatever.
yeah. They will do anything physically possible, but I think if they don't do, if they, I think the board is probably the most
Yeah, I'm not
easiest way because of we're not to say we're blocking it,
yeah,
because we're not blocking it, but I think when we do our investigation in a group and we're in say if we're in a cell,
yeah.
my brain doesn't necessarily allow me to open up that method of a reading to
Yeah,
that person because I'm in ghost hunting mode.
Yeah, and I agree
but
with what you're saying.
If there's that spirit that will shout louder, they would have to do is what I feel is they would do more. So if that message is needs to get to that person, that spirit has to get louder and stronger to push what is there out of the way.
Maybe not. I tend to disagree with that a little bit because I think what I'm saying is okay. Put it another way. You're on a board session. You're with your guests. There's 5 noisy spirits that get through first, and there's 2 sitting back that can't get through but have got a message. They've got to get that message to that person.
Yeah.
I'm damn sure they're going to get it in that event, wherever that person may go. Because you're talking, we've got 10 sensitive, 10 medium people. 10 medium.
Yeah, no, but that I totally agree. But I think they would have to work a tiny bit harder.
Maybe, but
Because the board is an easier, because Mrs. A does the board, it is the intention of the loved ones around the board at that time. So you're setting your attentions. You're now pushing the energies that are located in that area away from the board because that's what your intentions
I'm
are.
gonna play devil's advocate again, then. All right, well, I'm just saying, yeah. If you go into that and you're using a board session, and on that board session, the spirit of that place wants to come through on that board, it's still going to do it as well.
Yes, but your intentions as the controller of that board has put them walls up. So it's a
Right.
little bit easier, just like the other way around.
Yes.
When I'm in, say if I'm in a cell, I would be the other way around, that I am at arm's length with personal messages because people are not necessarily there to see the messages. Not to say that I wouldn't take it, but I'm on a ghost hunt. So my barriers are being changed as and see the situation.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm giving away my tricks. Here. If there's nothing happening within a session, then I pull my barriers in. So I let more come through. in my head is how it works in my head, and it's only my head because it's all different to everybody else, and there's no wrong or right. But I'm in my head. I'm in a cell. The last thing that people all want to sit around and see me to talk to one person to get their message across. That's my head. So is what I do is I set my surroundings.
Stop your investigation to give.
No. But this is. I'm telling. No, but this is how I'm working. This is how I work. So I'm explaining to people how I work in an investigation.
You work different to me. Who
Yeah.
work different to Sandra.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Is what I do. So I'm in a cell and I put my boundaries up.
Right.
So at that moment in time, I am for the energies of the location.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that's what I feel that is happening. All right? So we're getting the messages, Corporal Lance Doobie Dangle in the corner. Okay? He's coming through. Lovely. I haven't really got to work, if anything else, because I've got a nice communication going. He may be doing the EMF and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay? But in my next session, I go into a different place. Now, my boundaries have gone up, but you may have already spoken to the energy in that place.
Yeah.
So my boundaries, he don't want to talk again. He's had enough. You've already given the messages. So my boundaries come in a little bit. So when I'm pulling them boundaries in, that's opening up more to the room. It's how I work.
Yeah.
It's no one, it's no. But it would only be sort of last ditch message would I go with.
So
if it would be.
Have you never been on a hunt then? Have you never been on a hunt, right, where you're in a room and all of a sudden you'll get a message for somebody? You've never had that experience?
Just what? Just out of the blue?
No.
I'm working.
No, not out of the blue. You're working. And I believe, I can work on here. I can work on this bit. I can work on that bit. And then I'll get a message to say, oh, I'm trying to get...
Off the top of my head, no.
Right, okay.
I can't.
We definitely work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. There's no wrong or right here. I can't multitask in that sense. So if I'm working,
but see, this is okay. Yeah.
I'm working with this said energy, and someone comes in, I have to do what I would do in normal day life. Unfortunately, I'd go, hold there a minute. Right, what you got to say for yourself? And I'll speak to that one. And I couldn't do multiple things because then I'd end up being like, I'm going fucking, I am going stir crazy. Yeah. How I work is I push and I pull. So if an energy's there, right, stop. I'm talking to this one. I'm not talking to you for a minute. And then I'll speak to that one and I'll say, stop for a minute. I'm going to talk to this person for a minute. And then that's how I work. I push and I pull.
So then you get to them and you're pushing and pulling, and he says, "I've got a message for Doris over there."
I would say, is it a personal message? And they say yes. I would say I will give it towards the end.
Right. Okay.
Not in that situation. If I've got a mass row going on between this spirit and that spirit, I've got the K2s going off, I've got this going off, I've got the dowsing rods doing woo, woo, like that. I'll just say, look, I will give you a message, but it's not the right time because it will just...
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's where it works. I do believe that message will get across at some point.
Yeah.
But I do feel that it'd be a lot easier on the board sessions is because that intention is there for their loved ones to get their message from. So in a reverse situation,
that's probably what I would work a board slightly different. But then again, that's me.
Yeah.
Because then I would set that board's intention for the place, and probably not for the people around the board. That's me.
You know what happens if I did that? That's why I don't touch the board, because I just get sweared at. So me touching a board is like...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's your intentions. If you're intending to do the board for personal messages, that's what you'll get. If I was intending to do a board for the place, then that's what.
Yes,
I would get.
and that is exactly how I work myself.
Yes,
If that makes sense.
But there's been times, and I have done on times, had to give a personal message and would give a
Yeah.
personal message.
Oh yeah,
So
I wouldn't.
I
I wouldn't-
not give that message.
No, I would, unless it's something that I know I couldn't give.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
You know, if I knew I couldn't give it without causing crap,
Yeah.
then yeah, I wouldn't. But yeah, exactly. It's the same. My process is exactly the same as a board. Say, there's no point me doing the board because everything that I touch on the board, if I open a board up, I'm just going to get shit come through. It's
But
simple
why?
as.
But why?
God knows, because it just feels like you look at every time I open a board up, we get some form of arsehole spirit coming through that wants to have a pop at me.
But but then why? I can't.
I couldn't tell you. I generally do not know.
Right,
I couldn't tell you that. And that's why I tend not to do the board. I know people, if people want to experience the board with me, I will do it. No, I do set boundaries. I 100% do set boundaries. I do set boundaries. I just don't understand why the board sometimes... don't get me wrong, I've had nice messages. I'm not saying every time that I do it, but in a location, I suppose I do. I suppose in a location that I would say anything once the location, and if I've upset something, probably in a previous life, then it would probably do it. Let's go back. I've got loads of bits have just come up. If you don't allow it to happen, then it'll come through another way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I believe, as Joe says. I get you, Russ, because your train of thought is mixing beta and the brain frequencies when you're investigating. Yeah, I do change my frequencies when I do feel there is a difference between when I'm ghost hunting and non-ghost hunting. It's like tomorrow morning I've got an investigation, a reading to do. I know that my intention is not intention, but my frequency is a lot more calmer than it is when I'm doing a reading than it is in a ghost hunt. Yes, the board's controlled. Controller has some control. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Good night, Heidi. I've probably missed you. Take care. See you soon. Ciao, Heidi. Ciao. This is why EGH is the best ghost hunting team to go on investigation. We all work slightly different, and I guess get all the benefits from individual groups. That's it. That's exactly how it is, because there is no wrong or right here. There is no wrong or right. There is no wrong or right of how you work. And I think as long as your intention is clear, I think that is the main importance. What is your intention here to start with? You're protected, you're going to communicate, and I want to be safe.
Yeah, and that would be my intention.
And that is pretty much it.
Every way, everywhere I go.
And, that can slightly change in different places, obviously.
But boundaries, I don't know. Perhaps I just use different boundaries to what you use. I don't know.
Yeah, potentially. Do I set would I set boundaries? No. Would I set boundaries? Give me a example for my own benefit of that, because
you said what your boundaries are. You have set your boundaries, haven't you?
Yeah,
gone
but
into a place and you're setting your boundaries to be for that place.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
For that place, you don't want anything else but that place.
But then I'd bring my boundaries in if things were giving away my tips, and I shouldn't do, because it could be wrong or right. But I would bring them boundaries in if it was not working.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
it was not working, I would bring them boundaries in to allow people's loved ones in, because for me it's a different way of frequency working, a different way of working. I'm not there to give a reading, so to speak. I'm there to give ghost hunt. Come on, bring it on was the regular chant. Yes, because come along. You know, I want to know what's there. You're there to give me a story. Don't hide in the shadows. Don't hide. Bring it on. Give us it.
But in spirit, it's just like in life. There's going to be people that say it and do it in different ways.
Yeah.
So your come on, bring it on, will work in one place. So what I do will work in a different place. Because we don't work the same. We don't work the same.
No, I don't think anybody works the same.
No.
I think we all work slightly different somewhere along the line. That's why stuff comes through on the board.
You're on your board, Russ. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it just more feels like if I touch the glass.
Yeah.
I feel like if I touch the glass, then something, it just wants to swear. I don't know if it's one of my team effing and jeffing about, but you know, it's just one of them things. Sometimes I don't necessarily get it, and that's why I think Mrs. A is, you know, we call her the board queen. Do you know what I mean? She controls that board. She doesn't take no crap from whatever comes through. If she's not happy with the message, she will cut it dead.
Yeah.
Even if that person can take a part of it. If Mrs. A is not happy, the safety is paramount. She will cut that dead.
Yes.
So that's what, you know, and I do agree with you. I do feel that the message will get through no matter what. It doesn't necessarily have to be via the board. You know, it will be to anybody.
Yes.
It might even be. It might even just be them.
Yeah, it could be.
But I love the mix of all the different and the techniques.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It would be. I would think it would be very boring if we was all the same.
Yeah.
I really do. It's just. It's weird because I've used this so many different times. It's point A to point B. Everybody in our team can get to point A to B, but every single one of us will go a different way.
Yeah.
But we all tend to end up at the same point.
With the same or similar stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we've just gone different ways about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think we have to have that because I do think there's different frequencies, energies. We're different. I think we've got different energies to have different stories. So, for example, if let's use it as if I set my boundary to 10 foot, okay? So if anything within 10 foot can talk to me within that location, okay? So I'm talking to this gentleman, blah, 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 blah. He's telling me whatever's going on. But then someone like Mrs. A, Simon, Scotty T, may set their boundaries a little bit further afield. So they might have gone 70 foot. Okay? And there may be someone outside my boundary that is related to that story. So they will communicate with the person outside my boundary line. Because I've set what can be within my boundary. My boundary is my aura. So my aura, say, you set, when I go into, first and foremost, I set my aura to around about 10 foot square. Okay? That's what I visualize when I walk into any location. And at the end of the spectrum, Henry is the other end of the spectrum of boundaries. Yes, exactly. Because the safety aspect. We are definitely not boring. We're not. But this is what I'm saying, is that within within his boundary, he will have potentially someone he's talking to, but in my boundary, I could have another person part of this story, and then Simon could walk in and have his boundary bigger that's got a third party to the story, and then you just bring them all together. But then we've got 3 different stories, but going from A to B.
Yeah.
Because I think it's what was within your area, your aura, what you've invited, what you've said.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's so much different, is because we could be talking to 4 different people, but we're all going to get to the same story because they're all going to tell us what their side of the story is. They always say there's 2 sides to every story. Spirit are going to do it their way, how we do it. Totally agree. We have been with teams that use the same techniques in each group. Won't mention the other teams, but rather have different styles.
Different styles, yeah. I would rather have different styles. Yeah, I agree, Sandra. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, who? I don't. I just.
We have been with them. She's right.
Yeah.
We have been with them.
Yeah, of course we have. But I also think this is a subject that we have to push boundaries as well. I don't think there is boundaries to be pushed. There's different things that we don't understand. I think if we can tiptoe through life, we tiptoe through our spiritual world. If we don't push ourselves, it's like, would you sit in, put it on this, would you know, people can go through their whole life sitting in the same old job. A promotion comes up. No, I'm quite happy where I am. Don't take it. Carries on. 2 years down, same promotion. No, I'm all right, thank you. You know, they're just happy to plod. Happy, but don't push the boundaries. Won't tempt themselves. Won't try themselves. Failure is a part of life. And that's where my spiritual, I like to just be, you know, if someone gives me the opportunity of something in my life, I try to take it if I can, if I feel confident in taking it. Now, I feel that with my spiritual work. I am a confident person when it comes to my spiritual work. I want to push that boundary as much as I do my life boundary. That's how I feel I work.
Yeah, but I think we all want to push spiritual boundaries.
That's it.
I think we all want to push boundaries because we want to get to the next thing.
Yeah, but
You want the next experience.
you in life would have took a promotion.
Yeah.
If you felt it, yeah. So you set that because you want to push your boundary. Your boundary. You want to push that. In life, you want to push that. You know, you want to experience that, you know, whatever. Joe, you're a boundary pusher. You are a boundary pusher. Look at the jobs you've gone, you know, when you had your own business, you had this, you had that. You know, you were confident in taking that. You was confident in taking that. Now, okay, when it comes to spiritual side of things, you would still push your boundary. You wanted to know why. You wanted to know more.
I think Joe is probably one of the best communicators I know.
Exactly. And he will push his boundaries because he wants to know why. It's not going to, Joe, and I think there's a lot of us spiritual work, we get told something and you think, well, how? Why? So you take that next step because you want to know why. But there will be people that work in spirit that don't do that because they've accepted the answer and they'll give that answer. They've given the message and that's enough for them. But that would be, I think that would replicate their life. I think that would, if you don't push boundaries in your spiritual work, you don't necessarily, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's being happy and content in what you do.
Yes, that is true. There's some things there's some things I don't want to do through personal choice. That's my personal choice.
Yes,
Not
but
to say I couldn't do them or I wouldn't do them. But I don't want to do them.
no,
Sim-
no, but what I'm saying is you are not a person that doesn't test theirself. You are not that person.
No, I
But
agree.
If you know you've been a manager, you've managed because someone has offered you that position. You've gone for that position because you know you can do it.
yes,
But there's people that have been sat down behind you that you know have been there probably longer than you, more capable of you, but they haven't gone for it because they don't want to do it.
well, they might not be confident to do it.
Exactly.
Confidence.
They don't push their life boundaries, so they're not. If they was a spiritual worker, they wouldn't want to push their
Yeah,
spiritual
I get that.
boundaries.
I get that. I do get that. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. I think your life, where you work, you go in life, you would replicate. If you're a spiritual worker, you would replicate that.
Probably, but I go back a lot and come forward again. I go back a lot, come forward again. I go back a lot to see if I've missed.
But that's only questioning, isn't it? That's only questioning.
It probably
In a
is.
way, that's
Yeah,
questioning.
It is, and it's probably not where I've gone wrong because I don't think I have gone that far wrong. I think it's just to do things better. And that's.
But then, don't we all think that? Isn't that one of life's?
No, people. No, some people. Some
I think-
people with egos, and I'm not talking about any groups. I'm talking about there's people with egos in this world.
Oh,
Give
yeah.
that- give paranormal a bad name.
Exactly. But I still reckon if you ask them questions, and if you could strip this facade off their face,
You never.
they
do.
would. But if you got into, if you got to the, befriend them, let's take that off comment off because there's more, and stripped it down, they would still have hindsight. They'd still have something that they would want to change. People, it's life.
Maybe.
It's life. I don't think there's anybody out there that wouldn't want to change something they've done in their life. Frank Sinatra regrets I had a few, too few to mention. He still had a few. What could you have done better there?
Probably the bloke that wrote the song, though.
Exactly. What's the show? We are going to out asking for the unknown to come and talk to us. What's the point of sitting back waiting for a response? You need to productively push those boundaries to get your connection. I do agree sometimes with that. I think would come if you was in a dead room, I think. And you do push them boundaries.
Dead room.
Huh?
Oh,
Yeah, boom, boom. Yeah, a quiet room. I don't know what else to put. How else would you say it? A not very active room. But you do push the boundaries more because you're in a position where you're trying to please. You're in a position where you're trying to get the information. It may not happen, but you do push them boundaries a slight little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't want the dark stuff attacking me against them boundaries set height. Yes, but that's because you've stepped that pathway, Joe.
Yeah.
And you know it exists. You know it exists. Because of what you've done in life, you've experienced it in your... You want to know why. There's nothing wrong with that. It was one of your lessons. It was your path. It was your destiny. It was your journey at that time. It was meant to happen.
Yeah, it was.
And it makes you a stronger being now. It makes you the person you are now. It's made you stronger. It's made you fight. It's made you believe. In a horrible way, it was your journey to take. And when you awoke from that, it was give you the fight. It give you the protection. It give you the backbone. What you needed. And that's how I see it. Yes, but you're like Russ Sandra, quite fearless, and ask for bring it on.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think me and Joe has sort of put the foot in, test the water, then go. But yeah, in some things, no. But I like to test the water out first. Yeah,
But yeah, you know me. I jump in the deep end, swim back. Don't sometimes I swim back very very fast. Maybe, but I have the best mentors in the world. I don't know where they're sitting. Yes, it was meant to happen, Russ. I believe that, but it's made you the person you are today. It's opened your eyes to a lot more. It's accept. Henry, what's that? Sorry, Henry gets everyone else to test the water. Bless him, bless him.
that's
But no, with Joe, I do feel it was meant to happen, but it's made you so strong now, and I don't think you realise how strong you are spiritually. Then you like to sit on the back burner with it, but you are strong. You are a strong person,
Agree with
just
that.
like all of our team. They're all strong in their own little ways. Very, 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 very strong. We have such a vast array of opinions. We've got Jay. Yeah, talent, opinions. Look at Jay when he first started with us. If there's one that's push any boundary, then it would be him. Him and Scotty T would push any boundary possible.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
And then would there be us behind him? You've got Tina that knows sort of the different aspects of the energies and how they work. A different look at how the energies work, how we are all connected, how we are all one.
There's one place where we were all lost, wasn't there?
Deal.
Yeah. Yes.
Y-
One place we were all lost.
Lost, but also confused. Jay
Yeah, it
is
was.
mental.
Yeah.
He is, but I think that gives Jay his strength. That gives Jay his what he's meant to do. He's fearless in life. He's fearless in spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else that would walk through Beeley Lock at 12 o'clock at night on his own.
No.
If there's nothing that is going to scare the shit out of you, it
Do
would
it.
be that.
Yeah, it would be. I tell you, especially some parts of that walk.
Exactly. And that's, that there sums up how I think you could work out pretty much everybody via their way on this world living and their spiritual life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think it sort of mirrors it in a way.
Yeah.
If you're willing to try something on this earth plane, you'll be willing to try something in spirit. If you're happy to go along your little path on the earth plane, you'd be happy to go along your little path in spirit. What was that? Jane possessed at the train was mad.
Yes. it was.
Near the disused church. A dogwood. Near the disused church. I remember that night. We Nan's been watching them over the last, on YouTube every now and again. So, them ones do pop up, and I think me and you, didn't we? We watched the one of Jay walking through Beeley Lock.
Oh, we've watched it. I think I've watched that a couple. To be honest, I think I've watched it a couple of times. I do think I've watched it a couple of times. Because I don't know how he did it, but fair play to him. Fair play to him.
But sometimes you just have that, don't you? You do feel that. What do you call it?
Just do it again.
I don't think you would. Yeah, I think he would. I think he would. I think he would. I don't think he would admit no to it, but I think he would.
Yeah.
I don't think his mind would allow him to say no. Because of is Jay, fearless Jay. If he said no, that just becomes Jay. And Jay is not, you know,
So,
He-
yeah. He wouldn't do it. But no, I think I don't know. Because you didn't know what to expect. When you first do it, you don't know what to expect. And I wonder if that would make it any worse now knowing.
how you. Yeah.
Get what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. I do get what you're saying there. I do get what you're saying.
It was
You don't. The unexpected is
it's the unknown.
better.
Yeah.
Is better than
Now
the
I
actual
know.
known.
Yeah.
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 That'd be
We'll
interesting.
have to ask him.
Not to say that I'd want him to do it again. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not. But I would like to know if would he do it again. I just think he would say yes. Yeah,
I think
of course
so,
I would.
Yeah. I think
don't
he would
think-
say yes. But I wonder if he would actually think about it. And then say yes. Or how long it would take. We'll ask that question. When we see him, we will ask that question because I don't think he's on it tonight.
No, I don't think he is. I haven't seen. Well, no, it wouldn't be, would he? So, no, I've had no messages. So, well, we are virtually coming towards the end of the show, guys. We've been talking.
Spiritual messages. I don't know how we got here, but we have.
Yeah, but then I think it leads to that, though, doesn't it? Because obviously
does.
we went from how they get their messages across. You asked
Yeah, and I think that as,
messages beyond.
Yeah, and I think this is all a way of getting messages across.
And it's just, it's just like that strongest survive at the first, don't succeed, just try again,
Yeah.
until you get that breakthrough. You know, that spirit eventually, you know.
And yeah, anybody still listening, just try that with your hands. If you've not had that connection with somebody that you love, and I would say somebody you love, I wouldn't go and do it to any old Tom, Dick, and Harry. But if you've never communicated with somebody you love and you want to, give that hand technique a go. Just try it.
There, you heard it there, guys. So next week we'll ask the question. No, it will be the week after. We'll ask the question. As I say, when we're not here next week, guys, we are on a break next week. But don't sit on it. Joe said, "Don't sit on it." But no, thank you ever so much for everybody listening. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Sandra. Everybody in the chat that has joined us tonight. Thank you. It has been a pleasure to have you along with tonight. It's nice to have your interaction because it is about your input as well. Because there is, as I say, there is no wrong or right in this.
No, we don't know. We
And if
really
anyone
don't know,
does
but-
tell you, if you don't believe it, don't believe it.
Yeah.
Generally
But
don't.
there's some strong, there is some strong evidence sometimes that you just can't poo-poo. And a skeptic probably would, but I would like to see how they would say it wasn't, because until you're there, it was unbelievable. That was unreal. The other day was unreal.
Well, you know that there would be always someone that could poo-poo it. Not me,
No. I'm
but
not
there will be
saying-
always some skeptic out there that will say something that you just think, you know what? You say what you want to say, like it or lump it. And try not to worry about what people think.
No.
All right?
Long given up with that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, everyone. Tina, thank you as well for
Yeah,
watching. Joe said, have a nice weekend. Night all. What?
He's calling you a dust.
Dusk septic.
Yeah.
Maybe Tina's put. I actually read it as much love, so don't worry about that. Dusk septic. Oh, you all love your pareidolia, so it's absolutely fine. You know, that's a scientific thing rather than anything else. So I'm happy with that one, guys. thank you ever so much for joining us tonight. It has absolutely been a blast tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. It feels like people have enjoyed it. They've been very much communicating. You know, Terry put up there, really liked it. Yeah. I'm not reading that one out, Joe. So thank you ever so much for everybody. We'll be back in a couple of weeks' time, but I am back next Thursday. So if you want to join me on the show next Thursday, Journey Through the Unexplained, over on Pulse Talk Radio and Facebook as well. When we're on the conspiracy side of things, and that side, a lot more deeper than the ghost side of things. But yeah, you're welcome to join me next Thursday at 8 p.m. And yeah, take care, guys, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. All right? Take care, everybody. See you later. Thank you, everybody that has joined on tonight's show. It has been an absolute pleasure. Please make sure you join us again in a couple of weeks' time. Take care, all.
Take care. Good night.